Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. And if you're new here, welcome for the first time. And tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun, where I'm going to be reading and having just a very brief chat about some 1-star ratings on Goodreads for my favorite books. And after that, I'll be reading my favorite review, which is freaking hilarious, from Goodreads. Stay tuned. Okay everyone, so 1-star reviews. Not necessarily always a terrible thing. Although I don't give 1 stars, I DNF a book and then I don't rank it 1 star. And that's going to be part of the problem with some of these things I read anyway. But they're not all kind of attacking and scathing and nasty. Sometimes 1-star review can actually be kind of interesting to read, because maybe you think, yeah, that person's got a point. It's a sort of a balanced view. And also it's important not to take them too seriously and let them get at you. If there's a book that you really love and it's a part of you, and it's an important part of you, yeah, you just got to take it from whence it came. Okay, so we're going to first start off with NOS Foru by Joe Hill. Yeah, so this isn't my top 5 books of all time. They're kind of taken from my top 20 though, just randomly. And yeah, this has got an average rating on Goodreads of 4.08, which is pretty damn high. There are 132,000 plus ratings, 50,000 5 stars, and 2,401 stars. So yeah, let me just look at some of the things people have to say about this book. NOS Foru. Well, I finished. It took literally 6 months, but I did it. Now I just want to say there right now, DNF the book. If it's going to take you 6 months, put it aside, start another book. Don't comment on it. I just did not care about the story. It was not that interesting to me. It was a slog and hard to get through. It wasn't that I thought the writing was bad. I just didn't want to pick it up and keep reading. Sometimes books, authors that you want to like, are just not for you. And I think that is what happened here. I did think the last 15% was better than the rest of the book, and the ending was good. But it could be I was just as happy to be done. Okay, not that much wrong with this review, except he's not really saying anything about the book at all. He or she, I don't know who it is. And yeah, sometimes just, if you're not into a book, just put it down. You don't have to give a rating. The next one is interesting. Joe Hill has talent. His short story collection, 20th Century Ghosts, expands the genre and takes some interesting chances. This book does not. At over 700 pages, it is a bloated, badly edited and silly piece of flabby, unfrightening fiction that the author shouldn't have released. Okay, well, all I can really say to that is that 50,000 people disagree with you. And there's probably even more 4 stars. So, yeah. So sometimes there's a bit of an attack going on. Yeah, don't let it get you down. Next up we have Let the Right One In by John Lindquist. Now this book has average of 4.04, 114,000 ratings, of which 44,000 are 5 stars and 2,800 are 1 stars. Now this is a brutal book. It's a grim, a vampire tale. It is very dark, it's very depressing. And for these reviews I'm going to read out right now. People, if you're going to read a book like this, if you're a horror lover, check your trigger warnings, people. Because there's all sorts of stuff that happens in this book. Hints of pedophilia. It's very grim. But it's still an incredible vampire tale. And not of the sparkly variety. But let's see what this person says. This is the good one. It's bumming me out. 50 pages in and I'm giving up. Really. I don't think I can take this much gore any longer. It's disturbing. I needed at least one likable character. Should carry on reading a bit then. Someone to root for. Only then I can take in gore, serial murderers, paedophilia and such. Without somebody to identify with, suffering through one violent description after another is no fun. This was no fun. And now I'm fighting this urge. I want to crawl in under the table, wrap myself up in a blanket, stick a thumb in my mouth, and rock back and forth, hoping all the bad feelings will go away. Not a reaction long for to an enjoyable read. Okay, yeah, maybe horror is not for you, but check your trigger warnings. This next one made me a little bit angry, because I think the person is missing the point completely. And yeah, it's not what this person is saying. That's not what this book's about. And a lot of people responded to this particular. This book got so many great reviews. I wish someone would have warned me that this was a pro-child rape book. Come on, people. I wasn't that far into the book before the graphic descriptions of sex and how turned on these expletives were by young boys. This is the only book I have ever wanted to burn. I threw it in the recycling instead. It's too hot and dry outside. There's a burn ban. This book was a big waste of money and made me want to vomit. I don't care how well child pornography is written. This ain't child pornography. Shame on everyone who gave this a good review with no warning. Okay, now that is something that does upset me. When the reviewer attacks people that have given a good review to the book without reading it, without understanding it, what it's about. The fact that this particular pedophile is an evil bastard, the worst kind. And instead of reading on and discovering that and seeing what the book is all about, they give a rant review like that, which makes me kind of angry. So I've got to kind of put my finger in my mouth and back and forth, try and get over that review. Okay, next up we got Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. And this is the most popular book on this list, and possibly many people's most possible book of all time. In fact, I read a lot of reviews that said this book has changed people's lives. It's so powerful, so nostalgic about childhood. I said pretty much the same. And it's got an average rating of 4.40 with 36,700 ratings and 20,905 stars and 291 1 stars. I just want to read just a couple here. I've heard so many good things about this, and so right after reading Swan Song, which I love, wow, I decided to pick this up. Unfortunately, this book is not for me. I had to put this down at 16%. I always tell myself life is too short to read books that don't capture my attention. There are too many books in my TBR. It's just not for me, DNF. Okay, fine. But if you're going to DNF it, why leave a 1-star rating saying it's not for you at 16%? Right? Okay, next one. Awesome first pages. Some simply wonderful writing about the magic of childhood that rang so true with me and made me misty-eyed. This one looks like a winner. Darn! I was hoping this one would be good. It was a bit too much fantasy for me. Fantasy? Yeah, maybe mystical realism, a little bit of horror, maybe a little bit of fantasy, yeah. I quit around page 160, when the boys sprouted wings. Ooh, is that a spoiler? I don't think so. I was hoping for something a little more realistic. What did you think you were reading at the beginning? And that was it for me. I believe in the magic of childhood. Well, yeah, okay. But I don't think one must do fantasy for it to be a subject of interest. Okay, first of all, the genre I think you got wrong. And this book does touch on the magic of childhood. And it is one of the most powerful coming-of-age stories. So yeah, I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you on that one. Yeah, okay. But everyone is different. At least in this review, it's kind of more balanced. It's not like attacking, which is good. And finally, this review is just going to be one long rant. I'm not giving the whole review. About why I absolutely loathe this book. Moral of the story, it sucks big time. So now you don't have to read all of this. You could, because I really can't stop you. It will, however, give you a reason about my pure hatred towards this book. I don't know, I think sometimes these one-star reviews, maybe it's like a little attention seeking. Like, look at me, I don't like the book, so let me absolutely rant and rave. Like, look at me, right? Possibly. Okay, next we got a book, Weevil by Clive Barker. This book possibly saved me in my teen years. I find it a magical, wonderful, epic piece of storytelling. It's my favourite cover, if you look up there. It's just everything that dark fantasy should be about. It's just powerful writing, beautiful prose. And it's got 33,000 ratings, the average of 4.13, 14,280 5 stars, and 528 1 stars. Okay, so let's hear what people say about this book. This book would never end. I wished it would carry on. Yes, that's how good it is. This book would never end. Maybe that's why it took me over 10 years to finally sit down, and tell myself that I will finish it from start to finish. Since its publication, I've tried many times to read this book and just couldn't do it. Well then, why do you keep trying? Always telling myself that it must be the space I'm in, emotionally, psychologically, etc. But no, it's just a bad story. Yeah, a lot of people will tell you it's not. It went on and on with the exact things happening over and over again. That's not a spoiler because this is not really what happens. We have the carpet. Oh no, the carpet has been stolen. We have the carpet. Oh no, they have the carpet again, over and over. Yeah, that's not what the story is about, people. Guarantee you will have those that love fantasy and dark fantasy, you're going to have a good time. Okay, the next one. I got to page 350 and then I skimmed to the end. What a waste of trees. I'm so sorry I started this. It's a fever dream journal written by a Christian. There's nothing about Christianity in this book at all. There's some mysticism, there's some magic. Wow. It's 700 pages too long. Yeah, so a book of 700 pages, about 700 pages too long. Why bother to write that? Just don't read it if you don't like it. Okay, so I'm getting a bit some of these reviews, but it's okay. I'll take it on the chin. And we're going to come to the final one once I've got my breath. Okay, finally we have The Stand by Stephen King. Average of 4.35. Hear that, people? 4.35 out of 5. Over 780,000 ratings. Over 435,500 5 stars. That's more than double. 9,901 1 star. That's just like people just hate Stephen King. But you know what? The last one I'm going to read is actually the most balanced. And I'll tell you why. At least 3 of my friends, not this one, at least 3 of my friends recommended this book to me. I don't think I'm going to hang out with those dudes anymore. That's how they lose friends. Okay. King can spin a good yarn. Misery and Thinner are pretty good. Yeah, comparing Thinner to this book, okay, each to their own. This story, however, was spread a little too thin. No, way too thin. I guess he was going for some kind of Lord of the Rings epic, but it came across as just an overlong dweebathon. What even is a dweebathon? Really? Honestly. Anyway, this is an awesome horror epic. You should give it a try. The Stand. This final one I can understand. I can understand. Except for the DNF, but I can understand it. DNF at 50%. This started out so strong and compelling. then totally fell on its face, in my opinion. Good boy or girl, in my opinion. There is so much focus on character building, but the story itself needs to be actually continued on rather than almost disappear completely from the middle of the book. I guess I just don't like most of Stephen King's books. I'm giving up on his novels altogether. No retry on the Dark Tower series for me. One of the strengths of The Stand in many people's, lots of people's opinion, is the characters. The characters are beautiful. They're so well just developed that they almost become family to you, and you kind of remember them. So, yes, it takes a long time to get going, and I recognize that this is being fairly honest. Towards the middle of the book, you're learning about the characters, what they're going through. I'd say, yeah, it is a long, slow burn of a novel, but in my opinion, it's well worth the effort, and it's just a absolutely, utterly powerful novel. So yeah, but I still respect this person's opinion because he talked about the characters. His weakness, my strength. Okay, right, I'm going to finish off with something kind of fun. I decided to, I'm going to read you, and I'm not going to read you the whole review because it's quite long, but it's a review on one of my favourite books from last year, the brutal, terrifying, horrifying Off-Season by Jack Ketchum, about cannibals. And this guy gave it 4 stars, I gave it 5 stars, so this is not a 1-star review, but it is my favourite review. It's the best thing I've ever seen. So I'm going to read it. It's a little bit long, but just bear with me. And it's called Cannibalism, a More Balanced Perspective. While I really like this book, I feel compelled to make a few introductory remarks before I discuss the specific merits of the story. I will give Mr. Ketchum the benefit of the doubt and say that I do not believe it was his intention in writing this book to come across as a snobby, elitist, anti-cannibal bigot. However, the fact remains that this novel is yet another example of popular media perpetrating the negative stereotype of cannibalism. I feel it's long past time to give a more balanced view of the subject in the hopes of fostering greater understanding of this alternative lifestyle. As far as the specific plot elements, I'm not getting spoilers in this, of Ketchum's story, I thought they were fine. I find cannibalism, graphic torture, and human dismemberment, did I say it right? Dismemberment, just as funny and amusing as the next guy, and thought that the author did a nice job of providing an authentic and detailed representation of the practices discussed. While I do not currently practice cannibalism, I did experiment with the lifestyle for a time in college. During this time I learned a lot about the same species subsistence community and met a lot of wonderful people, several of whom I still count among my close friends, as long as I am armed. Thus, defending the rights and the dignity of the cannibal community is something about which I have strong feelings. I believe that cannibalism, practiced in moderation, has the potential to be a very positive influence. For example, it's an excellent way to bring families closer, as it provides a wonderful mechanism for siblings to spend quality time together. This can help to further strengthen bonds among family members and promote the forming of more intimate attachments with one another. Okay, let's skip forward a little bit. In addition to strengthening family bonds, cannibalism is also a very effective way to stay in shape, especially if one makes a conscious effort to do their own stalking, tracking, and dismembering. The fact is that obesity among cannibals is less than 1/10 of what it is in the general population. Plus, for those unable to participate in family hunting trips, there are excellent home workout videos for that can produce very positive results. Finally, I believe it's critical to recognize that cannibalism is an excellent way to make a positive contribution to the environment. In addition to using very few fossil fuels or other products damaging to the environment, consumers of humans are also help prevent ecological damage that can arise in areas with excess population growth. They are one of the most ecologically conscious consumer groups, and have long been associated with the green movement. Plus, once processed through the digestive system, humans make a phenomenal natural fertilizer, which provides further benefit to Mother Earth. Cannibalism in moderation, people. Okay, everyone, that's my video for tonight. And sorry if it was a lot of talking, not a lot of talking, but a lot of reading. I was just trying to have some fun with reviews. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Leave a comment down in the spaces dark down below and let me know what you think. What do you think of the books that I mentioned? What ratings did you give them? And if you're one of the people watching that made this rating, that I read out your rating, please don't take it personally. It was just for a bit of fun. But anyway, I hope you all take care of yourselves and keep those pages turning. And cheers.